much the allocation of funds can bring an impact to students. In addition, we lobbied a lot about creating more funds from the local government to give to public schools. So I learned a lot about the impact that it creates to students, which moved me to pursue this position. In addition, I've been working for a year for graduate student life at UMD. And during my first year, I was able to connect very well to other grad students and their experiences and where they come from. And during if I do have this position, what I plan to tackle, let me see, my PowerPoint is not proceeding to the next slide for some reason. There we go. So one of the main plans that I have is to continue to allocate funds for the graduate student legal aid, which we know undocumented students and international students have a lot of hardships, not only because they have to worry about all these questions and how to navigate that, but on top of that, they have to worry about their academic success as well. And we know that right now, international students are going to be greatly affected by the new policy that we have. And in addition, I want to continue to uphold and hopefully allocate more funds to the UMD Food Security Fund, which we know has helped students throughout campus. This past year, SHU, along with the other committee members, we were able to establish that fund specifically for graduate students. And yes, does anybody have any questions?
We can do questions after the other person.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Ellie. So let's go ahead and have Divyash go ahead and share.
Ellie, you're still sharing, by the way.
Okay, let me see. I'm not sure how to not share it. So
the stop button at the very top of your screen, red bar.
I'm going to do it here.
Oh, I see. I see it. Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Divyansh Jain, and I'm from India. I just completed my first year for my master's in telecommunications engineering. And back in my undergrad and in my high school, I've been part of committees who handled marketing, finance, and different fields. So I have an idea about budgeting and allocating like funds to different departments. And here in UMD, I've been studying subjects related to telecom, where we study about the organization, how it funds different departments, and that is how I can contribute to this position. And I feel that the VPFA position requires the understanding of the uh, student fee that we put in, like different sections, and informing GSG about it. And I also think that like a VPFA would require to know which funds, what funds to allocate to different organizations in sub organizations, and whatever the president wants to administer, and also chair the budget and finance committee so that everything goes in order. So having a previous experience and a current experience working at the dining and like studying subjects related to finance, I guess I would be able to contribute.
All right, thank you so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and motion to move into the Q&A session for 5 minutes. Anyone second?
Second.
Second. Okay, and then let's just limit it to 5 minutes and we'll start off. Go ahead and ask your question, then we'll start off with Ellie and then move on to Divyash. All right, so the first hand I see up is Rachel.
Thanks. For both of the candidates, I'm wondering, if you could talk a little bit about how you might be able to best advocate for students in the student fee process, especially on the committee for student fees, since this position is going to be one of our chief advocates in that process. So yeah, could you share a little bit more about how you might be able to do that?
Sure. Well, I totally right now understand what's going on with the whole COVID situation. A lot of people in my program have told me personally that they hope that the fees at least, make up for what we're going to get in terms of the resources that are going to be available to us for campus. It's not fair that if a lot of parts of campus are going to be closed, for example, like let's just say the gym, then why should we charge that gym fee or that other fee that can relate to other resources? I know that at the same time, it would be my job to make sure that there's a balance in terms of having a surplus and not having a deficit. But I will work with the committee that will be with me so we can come to like a reasonable solution on what we can do where we're not burdening students, especially with many of them losing their jobs during this pandemic. A way that we can not burden them, but at the same time that we are making sure that we have a stable budget. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that's responsive.
Uh, I agree to what Ellie said, but what I think is that a lot of funds have been released to graduate students and undergraduate students this pandemic. I know a lot of fund has been already given in, but if we see the subsections of the fees that the students pay, we can uh, we can set a we can set a format, or we can uh, set up an Excel, and we can see that how much is the percentage of gap that is there, and we can allocate more funds by discussing it with the committee, so that the students are also not afraid, and students are not suffering due to the pandemic, and not also keep the organization and the university in the deficit. So that is to be balanced properly with adequate meetings and discussions, and then coming to a conclusion where we can give it a push and help students a bit more.
All right, any other questions?
I think the question asked prior about this is, I guess we're not taking notes, but Nate Woodard, Vice President for Community Development. Other question about time and commitment is a valid one. So if you guys could each speak to your time and commitments for this upcoming fall and for the year.
Sure. So currently I'm a research assistant. It's a 10-hour position, and it's very flexible. Flexible. My supervisor like lets me work from home, and there's really like no designated times. But while I was considering nominating myself for this position, like I made sure that I have that time to commit. So first off, I want to just say that I would not be here if like I would have been real with myself and told myself I don't have the time. But after really good consideration, I decided that I do. And I will invest the time that's necessary. Like I said, I have experience when it comes to lobbying for budget and advocating for budget policies for underserved communities in the south side of Chicago. So I know the frustration that it can be and the complexity. In addition, I know that the solutions are not very easy to come up with, but as mentioned, I will have the dedication and I have the passion to invest the necessary time that it is, whether it is to learn or craft some reasonable policy.
Uh, I am interning this summer, so I'm occupied like 20 hours, but it'll be finished by August. And then I had a job on campus, but that is not with us anymore because of the pandemic. So I'll have a lot of time giving the position a lot of efforts, research, and coming up to conclusions. Plus, I live nearby the campus, so if required, I can come up anytime with precautions, and if any meetings are held offline too. And rest, working 20 hours, I can manage those 20 hours very easily. So working more 10 hours doesn't make a difference, I feel. that can be easily done.
Great, thank you.
So we are almost at time. Any last questions? We have Shu really quickly.
Yeah, so with BFA, Shihan, thank you. So what do you think, can you briefly summarize, what do you think is the challenges of distributing the GSG fund to other students and student organization? And if you get elected, how are you going to improve those process?
During my experience this whole year that I served at the Budget and Finance Committee, I learned how, I guess, hard it can be because we want to give everybody the funds. We wish the best for everybody, but we understand we can't. So my priority has always been academics, so a lot of PhD students, and I disclose this to my committee members as well, who were requesting money, and they stated like, I need this for my dissertation. That's where I felt like was the priority. Yeah, I'm not saying that's the only population that's deserving of grants and funds. But like I said, I am like so thankful that I will have a committee with me that will advise me, and together we will make decisions on that. Because personally, like I said, I wish we can just give the money to everybody, but unfortunately we can't. So along with this is going to be a collaborative challenge for everybody. And please let me know if I didn't answer any of your points.
What I think is we initiated a process of direct deposits this time for the first time, and it reached actually to the students. So I think that was a really great initiative. But I guess the process was a bit lengthy, but it could be shortened down after discussions and coming to conclusions. And rest I feel is that we can come to we can discuss and we can come to a point where we can allocate funds to the people who are really in need, like people working on their dissertations or people really out of money, uh, like not allocating it to everybody and anybody, but to let them fill out an application and specify in detail what issues they're going through so that it's allocated to them first and then to the, and if the funds remain, then to the other people is what I feel. Uh, but the direct deposit initiative was a very good process that we inculcated to directly put it into the students' accounts is what I feel.
All right, thank you so much. I see your hand, Alec, but time has expired.
That,
So I'm
that
gonna
was
go
literally
ahead.
what I was going to say is
Yeah,
motion.
I was going to go ahead and motion to end the questioning and move to the closed session.
Second.
All right, so let's go ahead and move to the closed session.
And as a reminder, this should also be the time that we stop recording and broadcasting on YouTube.